everyone, Eva Medilek here, and I want to talk to the self-sacrificers out there, the ones who want to be there for everyone, who have a hard time saying no, who want to people please, who want everybody to like them. What are they going to think if I say no? I want to talk to you for a second, and I want to stress with you the importance of setting boundaries. You see, boundaries are put in place for you to be able to give more. I'm going to say that to you again. Boundaries are necessary for you to be able to give more. I talk a lot about the foundation of living a high performance life. And by living a high performance life, what I mean is showing up as your best self on your A game in every area of your life. Because if you're not high performing, you're underperforming, or you're low performing, or you're mediocre. And so the CPR to jumpstart a high performance life for you, get it, CPR jumpstart, is to have clarity, set priorities, and communicate your boundaries. Set and communicate boundaries. So I'm going to focus on the R, which is the responsibility that you have to create those boundaries in your life. You know, I have two adult daughters. One of them has the cutest little dog ever. And I often help her out by watching that dog when she has business trips or things she needs to do that may keep her out late and overnight. And we kind of do that for each other because I don't know how much you know about me, but I have the most adorable dog ever named Lexi. She is my heart. She is my everything. All right, but I digress. My point is, I've had some health issues with my back. I've been to urgent care in the ER in an ambulance of all things. First time ever in an ambulance, by the way. Um, Twice in the last 5 weeks. And on top of that, I still have my business to run. And I had some very important business trips to take in between my hospital and ER visits and managing pain and doctor visits and all the things, right? So this past weekend, for me filming this particular video, was daylight savings time here in North America, where I live in the United States. And so that means the clock went back an hour and we're supposed to gain an extra hour's sleep. Well, if any of you have dogs or pets of any kind, you know that their body clock does not adjust to daylight savings, and neither do ours very well as well. But we all could use that extra hour's sleep, and it happens on a Saturday night, Sunday morning, if you will. And I was really looking forward to having a good night's sleep. And so this was Halloween weekend. And so my daughter asked if she could bring the dog by on Saturday because she has a Halloween party to go to. Now, she tells me this on Saturday. Now, you know full well if you've got a Halloween party to go to, you already knew about that so that you can get a costume together. Somehow this was last minute. Well, she texted me about it. I was in the middle of something, and then she proceeds to call me to yell at me while I haven't returned her text or responded to her text. Now, what I shared with her was happy to watch the dog, and you need to pick him up after your party. If your party is 4 p.m., he needs to go home. Well, she argued and argued why he needs to spend the night with me. And here's the thing. Normally it would have been fine with me, but I was really looking forward to that extra hour of snuggle time with my husband and with my puppy because my husband had just returned home from 10 days in Europe, in Germany, visiting his family. So I hadn't seen my man for a while. Now, I know my dog is a lazy blood clot and likes to sleep late. So daylight savings time only affects her when it comes to her dinner, not so much her breakfast. But I also know my daughter's dog will be up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and I'm not in the mood. And so Sticking to my guns. That was a boundary. Happy to watch him, pick him up, go home, sleep at your own home. But here's what I did. I made sure that my husband knew about the boundary I set in place because sure enough, this 39-year-old woman went to him to try to ask him the same thing. And we were on a united front. Now, I was not doing this to be mean. I was doing this because I had an intention for that weekend. It was going to be a lazy Sunday in bed, making pancakes for breakfast, something that I wanted to do without having to be woken at 5 o'clock in the morning because some dog needs to walk and have breakfast. Because I know my dog is old and sometimes we have to kick her out of bed. She's like, I want to sleep in too. My point in sharing that with you is that she was upset. I didn't care. I had a boundary and I stuck to my boundary. And I know that this can be hard for some of you who have boundaries and have people begging, pleading, crying for you to break your boundary for them and their drama. But sometimes you have to say no and stick to your boundary. And by the time she got to my husband, he was like, I'm not getting in the middle of this. Your mother said no. It's no. And yes, she did come home from the party and she did end up, after taking a quick nap herself, getting out of Dodge before the morning and taking her dog with her. And I got to have the Sunday that I had planned in my mind for weeks. You know, had it been an emergency, if it was really life or death as she needed me, of course I'd be there for my child or anyone else who I cared about that needed me. But my point is, people will try to drag you into their drama. They will try to guilt you into breaking your boundary. And your boundaries are so that you can be able to show up your best self for the people in your lives. I needed that rest. It has been, a rough October for me. I've got to tell you, from the beginning to the end, with everything that's going on in my back and trying to be there for my obligations, for my client fulfillment, for the trips that I had planned, the speaking engagements, all of those. I'm not a young woman. It kind of took a lot out of me. And, there was a part of me that felt a pang of guilt. But I was so determined to have one day, just one Sunday where I did not feel rushed, did not have to get out of bed, did not have to be anything for anybody except who I wanted to be. And it was so important to me. And I want to encourage anyone, you in particular, who chose to watch this video, to be clear on your boundaries. Communicate them, set them, don't run from them, because boundaries will create safety for you so you can have the energy you need to show up as your best. And showing up as your best makes you a high performer. So if you have trouble setting boundaries, if you have trouble saying no, I want you to reach out to me. I want you to DM me, message me, email me, eva@evamedilek.com. Let's set up a time for you and I to talk, because I can't emphasize enough how important boundaries are for your safety, for your health, and for you to show up fully energized, refreshed, and recharged for the people in your life, so that you're there when it really matters. That you're there when it really matters. Because I know you have a giving heart. I know you love. I know you want to be that person that people can rely upon and count on. And you can't do that if you work yourself to exhaustion, if you don't take time for yourself to reset and recharge and protect those boundaries fiercely. Anyway, I don't know who needed to hear this, but I know somebody did, and I hope it lands with you so that you can put your oxygen mask on first. All right, take care. Have a great day.